XXL is an American hip-hop magazine company originally published by Harris Publications, founded in 1997. Now, honestly, when doing research on the company, I never realized how thin their history was. They're a fairly new company, so there's not quite a lot of information I could gather surrounding the early beginnings of them, but I think we should all know what has happened since the creation. By August 1997, Harris Publications printed the first ever issue of XXL, featuring rappers Jay-Z and Master P, and from there the magazine went on to become a staple in the hip-hop community, providing people with the exclusive hip-hop content we all desired. Now, with XXL's success, this calls for some competition, because if you didn't know, at the same time XXL was coming up, Wash rapper Benzino had his own magazine line called The Source, which wasn't exactly too far from what XXL was an idea, except a lot of people had criticism with The Source because it was a very Benzino biased magazine, and for XXL to separate themselves and take the lead in the race versus The Source, they came up with this grand idea called the Freshman Class. Beginning in 2007, XXL began their annual release of the Freshman Class, which would typically feature about 10 to 12 artists on the rise that you should be looking out for, all appearing on the cover of the magazine. Now, the list has had a history of showcasing underrated rappers you may have never heard about, as well as artists considered to be on the rise making a name for themselves. And this list was perfect for XXL because for the company, it created a significant marketing buzz amongst listeners and artists alike, and since the start of the Freshman Class, it's been credited to giving many artists their first ever taste of fame. Now, what I would like to do is start a series where I basically work myself down from the 2007 class all the way down to our most recent class, which of today is the 2024 class. But it's 2025 now, and by the time that I even make it to the most recent class, it's probably going to be 2026, because I don't know if I want to release these videos every month or every few weeks, depending on how this video does. But that's a new series I want to start, because fuck it, why not? I've never seen anyone go through every single class, so I'm gonna take on that responsibility. So what I would like to do is give you all some fun facts, go through the history, and ultimately see what each artist has done since appearing on the list. Now, to also make this fun, of course I'm gonna give my own opinions and ranks on the group ciphers and the individual freestyles, but to really make this fun, at the end of each list I want to grade each freshman and then ultimately give the class a total grade. So basically how I'll be doing it is valedictorian goes to the best artist in the class, A goes to artists who had good to great careers, but obviously they're not the best because that goes to valedictorian. And then we have B to D going to the artists who had good to decent careers, and then F to dropout for the artists who completely flopped after appearing on the list. And one last thing I want to do is also go through each artist's monthly listeners and then also go through their most recent releases, because a lot of these artists have a lot of monthly listeners, yet their latest releases aren't getting a lot of streams. So don't get played by these monthly listeners. We're going to go through it all, and I think we could finally start it. I think we could start off with the first ever inaugural list for XXL being the freshman class of 2007. Let's get into the video. So starting off with the inaugural XXL freshman list, it seems that the corporation decided to come out with the Disney Miniman look for the first ever cover picture in class history, and appearing on this debut list we have Saigon, Plies, Rich Boy, Lupe Fiasco, Lil Boosie, Gorilla Zoe, Joell Ortiz, Crooked L, Papoose, and last but not least, Young Dro. Now for this class we have 10 freshmen, but don't get comfortable with that number because throughout time the classes are going to fluctuate between 10 to 12 members depending on the circumstances for each year's class. Now, one thing I want to introduce for this series is giving each class average age, just so y'all could get a little gauge of how old and how young some of these artists are. And for this inaugural class, we have an average age of 27 years old, the youngest being Rich Boy at 23, and the oldest being a tie between Saigon and Plies at 30. This just means it's never too late in your life to have a successful career and end up maybe even a XXL freshman yourself. Now, because I know a lot of y'all do not know who a lot lot of these artists are, especially for the earlier XXL classes. Shit, I don't even know some of these artists. I'm gonna go through each single artist besides the bigger ones. Of course, like Lupe Fiasco, I'm not gonna go deep into Lupe Fiasco. I think we all know who that is. But for people like Saigon, I'm definitely gonna have to explain it to you. So really, let's get into this shit right now. Let's go. Why you waiting, nigga? Let's go. Now, starting off with the first freshman on this list, we have the Brooklyn MC Saigon. Now, if you remember, I said Saigon was one of the oldest members from this class, and just listening to his music from back then, he definitely sounds like a product of that time, which hasn't exactly aged 100% the best, in my opinion, but he was a popular name for the time in 2007. Unfortunately, nowadays though, not a lot of us know who Saigon is, and since appearing on the list, he never ended up becoming the potential rapper he could have been due to losing a lot of his steam after pushing his debut album back 3 years after appearing on the list. Now, as of today, Saigon does boast a credible 51,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, which is better than nothing with someone who has had a career spanning over 20 plus years in a field where it's rare to even stay relevant for a 5-year span. So I don't think we should discredit that at all. But unfortunately for Saigon, he does have some tough competition in his class, and pairing that with the fact he has no Billboard charting songs or albums, he's never received any certifications for gold or platinum, and he has no Grammy nominations or wins, it's pretty tough to say that he did anything in his career after XXL, and for that, I'm gonna have to give him an F or a dropout, to be honest. But one thing I will say is I did love that nigga in Entourage, because Entourage is one of my favorite shows, and he was a recurring character. That's actually where most people know him from. But I love that guy in there, so you know, I'm gonna just give him a fuck it. Next up, we have Long Beach, California MC Crooked L, who now goes by King Crooked today. Now, funny enough, Crooked actually appears on one of my favorite Russ songs, Stockholm Syndrome. Yes, I said Russ, the one everyone hates, one of my favorite Russ songs, Stockholm Syndrome, which is also Crooked's biggest song. That's kind of crazy. Your biggest song is a feature on a Russ song, but hey, that don't even matter. I do suggest the song. It's just bars back and back, and them, they're just flowing, bro. They're going crazy. But in terms of Crooked's career after XXL, the biggest impact he had in his career was his involvement in the successful rap group Slaughterhouse, who was signed to Eminem's record label Shady Records, but after departing from the group, he just couldn't regain that initial success and buzz he had when appearing on the cover or joining Slaughterhouse. He wasn't able to chart on Billboard, receive any certifications or awards, but he does sit at an impressive 124,000 monthly listeners at this time. But Crooked hasn't had a buzz around his name in over a decade, and he wasn't even the biggest out of his own rap group, and consider the fact that one of his members from that group is also a freshman on this list but a bit more successful. I'm gonna have to give this man a D. Pause and say he barely graduated. He escaped right past, but shit, 100,000 people listening to you every month after a 15+ career in the game, that's definitely impressive, so don't take any of that shit away from him. Now, next up on the chopping block is the New York rapper Papoose. Now, Papoose, as of today, in my eyes, is more known for his love and hip-hop affiliation, plus his toxic relationship with an actual successful rapper, Remy Ma. But Papoose definitely deserves some type of shine, as he did appear on Billboard Hot 200 with his debut album, The Nakarima Dream, which is literally just the American dream spelled backwards. But the reason Papoose honestly fell off was the fact that it took him over 6 years to release his debut album due to label issues. And mind you, it took him 6 years after XXL. So literally all that hype that he had on XXL was now just dead. Impressively though, as of today, he actually works at TuneCore as head of hip hop. So though his music career may be definitely a flop, he did do something with his career to stay relevant enough. And so for that, I'll grant him, I'll say he graduated. I'ma say what he got at the end of it, because I can't really put a letter grade right now. It ain't high though. It's crazy, we're 4 guys in and we're already at our 3rd New York artist, being Joell Ortiz. Can you just tell XXL was biased in the beginning, even to this day? Now remember when I said how Crooked L wasn't even the biggest member from Slaughterhouse on this list? Well, Joell Ortiz was the other member from the group who appeared on the list. To be honest though, Joell Ortiz and Crooked have had about the same career, but it seems that Joell Ortiz was able to captivate a larger audience for his music, sitting at a nice 253,000 monthly listeners, but also like Crooked, he's never charted on Billboard or received any certifications outside of the group. Mind you, this group also had Royce da 5'9" and Joe Budden, so I think that says enough. As of today, Joell still releases new music, and funny enough, it seems him and Crooked have actually formed a duo of their own, releasing multiple bodies of work together, actually charting at 152 on Billboard Hot 200 for their album Rise and Fall of Slaughterhouse. But just to play fair and be honest, I'm gonna have to grade Joell Ortiz a D+, putting him just above Crooked, but barely graduating from that class also. And now finally we've reached an artist I think most people may be aware of and isn't from New York, thank God, Rich Boy. Rich Boy is definitely such a default name for a rapper, but we just gonna have to give it to him, you know. I guess he was the original guy, so fuck you. Now Rich Boy is most known for his song Throw Some D's on it. Yeah, he made that song. Now that rewarded him with a position 6 song on Billboard Hot 100 and enough hype to capture the 3rd position on Billboard Hot 200 for his self-titled debut album Rich Boy, which went on to go platinum, also securing the Rookie of the Year award at the 2007 annual BET Awards. But unfortunately, since then, Rich Boy's career and life seem to have gone down a dark path, now going viral for moments like being spotted on the streets back in his hometown, or being arrested for domestic violence, allegedly striking his own parents. But as of recently though, it seems that Rich Boy has figured out a way to get his life back on track, releasing new music, even doing a remix of his hit song Throw Some D's with fellow Mobile Alabama rapper Flo Milli, which is actually a okay remix in my opinion. I don't think it needed one, but I mean, it's not too bad. And he also was brought out by Nicki Minaj to perform his hit song at one of her concerts. He does sit at an impressive 600,000 monthly listeners as of today, and with all that said, I guess I'll give him a nice C, because he did have a successful career enough, but honestly, it did come before XXL, and since then, he hasn't done anything quite remarkable, but hey, he graduated, so congratulations. Next up, we have Mr. Shoulder Lean, Young Dro. Shit, I burped, sorry. Now, just like Rich Boy, Dro saw most of his success in his career previous to the cover with his hit song Shoulder Lean that peaked at number 10 on Billboard Hot 100, also becoming certified 2 times platinum and going on to help his debut album peak at number 3, also winning BET Mobile Hot Ring Award and Ozone Awards Best Rapper Award. But now, unfortunately for Young Dro, after appearing on the list, he just was quickly shelved after his buzz died down. Like, the label did not even give him a chance. He did make a brief comeback with his hit song FDB and charted at number 57 with his album High Times, but he quickly faded right back into irrelevancy after failing to find any more success in his career. But as of today, he does have over 600,000 monthly listeners, and I will say he does have a timeless hit with Shoulder Lean, so I'll give him a generous C, because why not? Next up, we have Atlanta, Georgia artist Gorilla Zoe, who is most known for his song Hood Figure. Yes, Hood Figure, that's what they came up with for the censored version. To be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the song, so I may be a little biased, but unfortunately, I can't be too biased with numbers, and in terms of success after appearing on the list, Gorilla Zoe seems to have done best so far on the list, having 2 albums and 3 songs appear on Billboard Hot 100 and 200, but unfortunately for Zoe, with the ever-changing landscape of rap and just not being able to release enough hot songs to stay on top, he did eventually fall to irrelevancy, still releasing music to this day, but with not much fanfare. Now, he does sit at a comfortable 825,000 monthly listeners after 15 plus years of being in the game with multiple songs that have well over tens of millions of streams. So I'm just gonna go ahead and give Gorilla Zoe a nice C plus, to be fair, because I mean, bro, to be honest, nigga ain't been relevant so long, so I mean, I don't know. Alright, now We're entering the top of the iceberg part of the list, starting off with the Louisiana rapper Lil Boosie, or Boosie Badass you may know him as. I think it goes without saying how notorious of a figure Boosie has become over the years since appearing on XXL, damn near becoming more of a personality in today's time than a rapper, even though he does still release music to this day that doesn't get that much fanfare, to be honest. He still does sit at a crazy 2.4 million monthly listeners with a career that's damn near older than a lot of people watching this video, and with countless bangers, southern classics, and being an icon in his region of music, I definitely gotta give Boosie an A. Going off music alone, I say he's not too popular nowadays for his music, but shit, who cares? This nigga is an icon, so fuck it, nigga. A plus, even well, not A plus, chill out. He A minus maybe. He ain't that, but you know, Boosie official, he icon. Now, second to last in the class, we have the Florida rapper Plies. Now, I think for most people, Plies has become more of a figure, such as Lil Boosie being known for his antics and viral moments as of late versus his music. But don't get me wrong, every once in a while, he has dropped a banger song that usually goes viral for a little minute. And he did drop a great mixtape with Kodak a few years back that I myself always find myself going back to. But to be honest, mainly for Kodak. But for a career as long as his, he has stayed relevant even to this day with 3.4 million monthly listeners, having multiple songs with hundreds of millions of streams. There's nothing I can't really say or do but put him at A tier. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to bump this man to a B because he did make a song called Hawk Tua, and I can't stand for that shit. So you a B plus, I'm sorry. And last but not least, we have the most successful rapper out of this class, our valedictorian Lupe Fiasco. Now, some people may say Plies is bigger, some people may say Boosie's bigger, but let's be real here, this nigga Lupe has a Grammy, he's been on the charts, he got the certifications, his name has long lasted the test of time, and he did drop an album last year, and each single song from that album has over 1 million streams plus. So I think it's safe for me to say, out of relevancy, out of talent, out of the best rapper from this class, it has to hands down go to Lupe Fiasco without any debate, without any question. I just don't care what you say. Now, in terms of wow, I cannot speak. In terms of everything, this is how the chart looks like for me. I have artists, age, monthly listeners, rank, Billboard, RIAA, Grammy, and their grade. So Lupe we have at valedictorian, Boosie we gave an A, Plies a B plus, Gorilla Zoe a C plus, Young Dro a C, Rich Boy a C, Joell Ortiz a C minus, Papoose a D, Crooked L a D, and Saigon an F. Now, how I got these grades was by going off of monthly listeners, their most recent releases, their Billboard, RIAA, and Grammy. So basically, their listeners and awards. I basically went off of that. Now, I may have been hard on some, I may have been soft on some. Y'all let me know. I just was going off of what I thought. I was trying to be as fair as I possibly could, but just looking at the numbers here, I mean, what do you want me to give someone like Papoose outside of a D? I mean, sure, he has a Billboard shit, but that was from before XXL. So that's just how I'm going, and that's how I'm going to be going off for every single class. Every single class is going to have a page like this, just so you can kind of see what I'm gauging off of, and you can also give your own opinion if you like. Now, this class does have an average grade. Wow, I cannot speak, bro. It has an average grade of 70%, which is a C minus. That's not too bad. Now, the 3 out of 10 here, this is going to be because honestly, they went 3 for 10. They got Lupe, Boosie, and Plies. That's the 3 most well-known artists. You could tell they have millions of listeners, and everyone else is kind of, you may know them for a hit or two, and that's about it. You don't really hear shit from them. So, if you think I'm off, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. 70% may seem too high to some, but I mean, this is music. If you go 3 out of 10 in your label, that's a bang. So this is good to me, in my opinion. For the first ever list, you got 3 cool. So I mean, these are some legends. So let's not doubt them for real. I fuck with this. Now, if you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, please let me know what you think. Let me know if I should continue this on. Let me know if I should drop this more, if I should do one a month, how I should go about it, because I really do want to make this into a series. I literally got the thumbnails, I got the scripts, I got everything ready. It's just the fanfare. Do y'all want this? Do y'all not want this? Should I just do some other shit? Should I do another series? Y'all let me know what y'all want, and I'm gonna give it to y'all, because that's the shit we on this year. It's 2025. You know, I've been gone, but I'm back now, baby. We working. So it's been your boy Zio, the lieutenant. Y'all can't even see me, bro. Hold on. The lieutenant. I'm signing out. Bah!